Okay, so I'm back, and I still maintain IQOS is the best vape I've ever had. It is leaf tobacco. Are there chemicals? Probably chemicals that Marlboro normally puts in their cigarettes. Yes, but yeah, far less chemicals. And compare the e-liquid, you're also getting chemicals in it. I mean, you're not vaping pure nicotine there. It's if you're vaping e-liquid with no flavors whatsoever, you're putting nothing in there, and you're vaping. You're still vaping, something with the nicotine, whether it's vegetable glycerin or propylene glycol. Now they say it's kind of safe to eat for vaping. They don't really know. They've done tests, so you can make your own judgments. I've tried both. I've tried probably everything. This works for me. It's convenient, easy to carry it around. Nobody questions it. Nobody, sometimes if you are walking around with a big vape device and you whoop it out in like a shop, a cafe, a bar, whatever, or if you're on the street, it is possible for a police officer to come over. It's in Japan and question it. Is that drugs? What is it? And they can even take you down to the station, and investigate it and test the device. And it's just like, of course it's not drugs, but of course it's just a big hassle to have to go through that. But with this, I mean, every convenience store sells it, so you just avoid that whole problem. It's a sleek, smooth, small device that looks like a cigarette. So, I know a lot of people, to quit cigarettes, they want to go to something that's nothing like a cigarette. But it is a cigarette. It says Marlboro on it and all that. So Japanese society, it's, a very regulated society, and this looks like something people can understand, that looks like a legal type of electronic cigarette that's popular and well known. I'm going to stick with it, and, but bottom line, I don't actually care about any of that. Those are little perks or things, but, the bottom line, it is actually the best vape I've ever had. Say what you will. You get one, you might, at first, but before you get used to it, you might have some issues with it. You might not get the best vape every time. You might not insert your heat stick into the device right every time, but you get used to it. You work out the little kinks, and eventually you become a pro. You know what you're doing with it, and if you're pro with it, it is a really good vape. Now, some of my friends on cigarettes, they try this, they take one puff, they cough, they're like, oh, I can't, how do you vape this, whatever. Some people, I don't know, maybe they just don't like it. I mean, this is all personal preference. This is just my opinion. It's all subjective. But for me, I find this works, and it is actually an amazing device. So I support Philip Morris and I'm not a sponsor or representative of Philip Morris in any way, and I'm open, actually, if any company comes up with a similar device or another way to vape leaf tobacco, and it's better, I'll go to that. But this, you carry it around, and this thing, it's just like one piece, one pack. It's not much you got to carry around. It's great, but I do, as I said, I do support Philip Morris and this device. It's the best thing so far that I've tried. Now, I've seen on the internet, there's some Chinese companies that make some pieces where you can just buy a bag of leaf tobacco meant for vaping. So I imagine they did something with the tobacco where they somehow put vegetable glycerin on it to prepare it for vaping. So I'm a strong proponent of vaping leaf tobacco in as natural of a form as possible. I'd prefer the vape with no vegetable glycerin, but I think the amount of vegetable glycerin on it is very small. Nonetheless, if another company comes out with a better device and it's better than this, I will support it. I'm going to put it on my channel. I'll let you all know. And I'll switch to that. I'll switch to anything that I find that is better than the IQOS. At the moment, from everything I've seen, the IQOS is the best. Ideally, would I prefer a device where I can have something like this and just have a little sack of tobacco and put, tobacco in, a type of, little tobacco container within the device, pack a little tobacco in and then just vape that tobacco without having to deal with this cigarette-like piece on there. I mean, if there was something like that, I mean, I definitely go to it. It feels a little silly, like, you have these like little things, heat sticks that look like cigarettes, and there's a lot of paper on it, but actually the way the device works, it actually does do a good job of vaping it well. The paper does not get burnt. You get no ash. This is one I freshly vaped. You get no ash. I mean, after you vaped it, it kind of looks like that. You can see in the middle it's a little more vaped. Now, a lot of people, they do have... so the whole thing doesn't get vaped, actually. It's like in the middle. I guess it depends how fast you vape it. If you vape it very slowly, the whole thing might be vaped. But a lot of people have some concerns that there is some combustion going on during the vape. And yeah, I suspect there is a little bit of combustion going on, but like if you look at the piece, there's no paper burned, there might be a tad bit of combustion, but it's not much. It really isn't. It's barely combustion. It's like, it's a vape. If you vape it quickly, it gets hot, and there might be like just a little tad. It's like almost combustion, but, it's not like a true e-liquid vape. If you go anywhere, it's got almost no smell to it. Like I've had people tell me before, I smell your strawberry, or I smell your pineapple vape, or if I blow it in their face. But generally with a pure e-liquid thing, it dissipates in the air really quickly. This, it does have a smell. I've had people tell me there is a smell, but it's a little more than a vape, an e-liquid vape device, than the e-liquid smell. It's a little more than that, but it's not much more than that. It's not that much more. It's a little more, but not that much more. And if you stealth vape with this thing, I can take the device and I can, on the train or in a Starbucks or something, I can discreetly put it to my mouth. I can, take a puff, and what you do, you take a smaller puff and you try to hold it in longer, and then when you breathe out, it's like barely anything coming out of your mouth. You can't, if you do it right, you can hold it in and breathe out and nothing comes out. Like, all the steam, it's like you've kind of like absorbed it all. So you could actually do that. So it is good for stealth vaping. Now the only flaw, the only thing that is an issue for me, and I don't know any way to fix it, because basically you have to throw these away. So every time you vape one, it's not as bad as a cigarette, there's no ash or whatever, but you have to take this out, and you have this thing, right? And what you wind up with, for me, like I bought this little barrel thing, you wind up with a pile of these things. And if you're out in public, I mean, if you throw it on the ground, you look like some smoker throwing cigarettes on the ground. If you're in a place that doesn't allow smoking and you're stealth vaping, you have no ashtray. You could, what I do sometimes, I take it, I put it in a napkin and crumple it, and then no one sees anything, and it's just in the napkin. But you do have to dispose of these pieces. You could put them in your pocket. You could hold a little pocket ashtray and just put them in there. I mean, yeah, but the thing, the one issue, you do have these pieces left over that you have to dispose of, the butts, cigarette, and they're not even butts, it is a whole heat stick left over. The whole thing is left over. A cigarette butt's even smaller because it burns down, right? But this doesn't burn, you're heating it. So you do have this piece left over. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I've got to say about the IQOS. Feel free to leave comments. Please subscribe. I'd like to get my YouTube channel kind of going. New at YouTube, don't really know what I'm doing, but, I do really love this device, and I want to let people know about it. I'm using it in Japan. I don't know when the rest of the world is getting it yet, but I hope you get it soon. So once again, this is Vape Ninja here, and I am signing out. Have a good day, everyone, and I'll update again soon. Thanks.